Okay. That was 13 minutes and change. I didn't want to go over again, so we killed it. Put a little book away. Okay. You have to be prepared. Now, remember in the first part when I talked about the mom that had the daughter with the special needs? Prepared means prepared for anything. Crime, medical emergency, fire emergency. I have a little shit fire extinguisher in the kitchen. My mother said, why do you have it? Well, in case you gotta delay time. The fire department will tell you, if there's a fire, get out right away. Good answer. Okay. What if you're in the kitchen, you have a fire, but the fire is blocking your doorway or your window to escape? You might want to spray the fire a little bit to get it down a little bit so you can escape. Or your family's in the next room. You might want to tell your family there's a fire, get out of the building, and spray the fire a little bit to buy time for your family to escape. Fire extinguisher. I have one, you should have one. Little shit thing, you could buy it, and I bought mine on fucking eBay, I think. Read the instructions first. Because when there's a fire, you're not going to be sitting down like, okay, in subparagraph 2. No, read the instructions first. Medical. Bandaging. If your kid puts his fist through the window and gets cut with a lot of glass, obviously you're going to call 911. But in the meantime, kid's bleeding to death. These are my slip around the house clothes, so. Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. I took CPR and first aid when I got my associate's degree. It was required, and I was Red Cross certified for about a year. My certification expired. I'm going to ask you to talk to a paramedic, a nurse, or a doctor about medical questions because I think I'm ridiculously underqualified to answer them. But this is what I'll give you. Let's assume that you are stabbed, either by a knife or by a glass. It could be an accident. You're stabbed. Let's assume you're stabbed in the hand. Okay. You see this? When you bandage a wound, and obviously I expect you to get a first aid kit and read the instructions first, but when you bandage a wound, try not to go over the knife or the glass or whatever's cutting the wound. Try to wrap the wound tightly and around, but try not to cover the actual thing, like the glass or the knife. Because A, trying to tape up the glass to the knife might cut you. B, it might drive it further into the body. Also, knife wound, glass wound, bullet wound. Leave it in there. Okay? When you have an object inserted into your body unnecessarily, that object acts as a cork and it will stop the bleeding to an extent. And if you rip it out real fast, you can cause more bleeding. On top of that, as you rip it, you might damage a nerve, a blood vessel, an artery. You don't know what's going to go on. So you bandage the wound, leave the object inside the body, call 911, the paramedics will come, the paramedics will carefully move the person to the hospital, a surgeon will come in, he will x-ray the body part to ensure that when he pulls it out, he doesn't yank and hurt more. He has to put the person probably under anesthesia with an anesthesiologist, and they have to remove it very slowly. Leave that to them, don't do it yourself. It's not like in the movies. I'm stabbed, pull a knife out. Okay, pull a knife out. Now let's go get the bad guys. No. So that's one thing I'm going to tell you about first aid. Okay? First aid kit in the house could help you out. Bandages, maybe some rubbing alcohol, maybe a brace. Read out how to do it in the first place. Now, another personal experience of mine. Over the summer, I took a summer class. It was one night a week. It was a 3-hour class. And there was a girl in the class. We hit it off real nice. She liked me. We talked a lot in class. She was a couple years younger than me. She had, I think, an asthma or an allergy or something wrong with her body. And she had what we call an EpiPen. An EpiPen is a giant-ass pen that you get from a doctor with a prescription. It's not a pen so much as it's a needle. And we were talking about it. The class is at break. Most of us are in the hallway or in the bathroom. I'm sitting in the room with her, a couple other people. And she says, if I get my throat clogged up, I'll use this. And she just pulled that out of her purse. If not, one of you guys do it for me. Like if I passed out, do it for me. Okay, how do I do it? She had to show me where it was in her purse. She had to show me how to open it. She had to show me where the little needle would come out of. And she had to show me where she wanted it. She said, hit me in the upper thigh, right here. And I said, do you want me to take your pants off? And there's an older guy in the class who was in his 50s, and he's like, And I was like, bro, I'm dead serious, because A, I didn't know if the needle was strong enough to go through her pant leg, but B, am I gonna stab her with the needle and get lint and shit in her leg? She said, no, it's okay. Stab me through the pant leg. If she said take the pants off, remember this? That's what I would have done. I would have cut her pant leg off. Hopefully a lot smoother than that with this. This I've actually used before. It's nice. Cut her pant leg off, stabbed her in the thing with the EpiPen. But she said no, stab me through the pants. Okay. And thank God it didn't happen anyway, so I didn't have to do it. Now there was a lady in the class who was actually a nurse. She was going for another college degree or some shit. So I guess if it really went to that point, she could have done it because she herself is a nurse. And under those circumstances, the highest ranking medical professional in the room is in charge. But the reason why I said show me where it is, show me how to use it, is because I knew goddamn well that under pressure she fucking drops out and starts passing out on me. I'm not gonna be standing there reading it, especially if it's fine print. She could have been fucking dead by the time I read it. So you have to know in advance. Whatever you're gonna be doing, know it in advance. That's why schools have fire drills. Because it's so much better that during the fire drill, the kids know how to get out of the building. You ever been on a cruise ship? Or than the Titanic? We have the safety tour. They tell everybody, get upstairs to the lifeboat stations now. Everybody gets up to the lifeboat stations. You have this station, you have this station, you have this station, I have this station. And they tell you, when the ship starts to sink, you come here. That way, when the ship does sink, God forbid, you know to go to the lifeboat station. Rather than run around like a fucking chicken with your noodle cut off. Okay? You have to know in advance how to do things. Whatever you're doing, know it in advance. I'm going to check my time again because I'm really careful about this minute rule. Oh, I got 7 minutes and 42 seconds. I'm fine. Okay. Speaking of minutes, we're down to the minute rule. The minute rule is something that criminals have memorized and they recite it when they go to bed at night. It's called the 6-minute rule, but sometimes it's 8-minute rule. That means the criminal has 6 minutes to get in, commit the crime, and get out. The North Hollywood shootout, Emil Mazzurano and Larry Phillips Jr., they had watches sewn into their gloves and they practiced the minute rule. They timed it. They said, we're going to go in with the guns, we're going to rob the bank, we're going to get out, and I think they said 8 minutes. A cop saw them. Cops saw they were fully armed. No way in hell was he going to confront them with his 9mm Beretta. So he called for more backup, and by the time the robbers came out of the bank, they were surrounded. But criminals have a 6-minute rule. Get into the store, take the diamonds, get out in 6 minutes. Go into the house, kill the victim, get out in 6 minutes. Go to the warehouse, set it on fire, get out in 6 minutes. That 6 minutes doesn't always apply to crime. It could be medical, it could be fire, it could be anything that has an emergency attached to it. Now what that 6-minute rule means is you, the victim of the crime, or whatever, arson, fire, medical, you as the victim has 6 minutes in which you are on your own. Yes, my friends, you are on your own. And this is why so many of my fellow gun owners are bashing the shit out of gun opponents. Because gun opponents will say, get on the phone and dial 911. Okay, but what am I going to do for the 6 minutes while I'm waiting? Am I going to twiddle my thumbs? Am I going to read a book? Am I going to get a massage? Am I going to go to the bathroom? Am I going to put on a turkey? No. Whatever's going wrong with you, it will take them 6 minutes to get there, if not longer. Fire department, paramedics, they can come sometimes 5 minutes. But unless you have a police department across the street from you, a firehouse next to you over here, and a hospital next to you over here, you are not going to get help in less than 6 minutes. That's why they call it the 6-minute rule. You have to be on your own. Whether that involves getting out of the house that's on fire, whether that involves covering the bandaging the bleeding wound, whether that involves shooting the bad guy that's coming through the house with a weapon, you have 6 minutes or more. Now we're going to talk about other factors of the 6-minute rule. Hold on, I'm just going to check my time again. 10 minutes. You know what? I think I can do this. 10 minutes, I think I can do this. Other factors of the 6-minute rule are, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'll stop it and do another part 3. I'm not going to do this in time and I'm going to be fucking pissed.